Hey guys, I'm Craig.
And I'm Bec, and together we are
Two Happy Gamers. So today, this is one of those reluctant videos where somebody tags you in it and you feel obliged to do it, but I'm actually happy we're doing it because we've actually never done one of these videos. Wartrain Wins tagged us in his video of his top 10 games of all time.
The next one on the list is Two Happy Gamers. This is a channel I had recently found and been watching their content. Just great videos, guys. And
with the pretext being that we do our own video and then we tag 5 people as well. So yeah, there's been a few people on the internet that I've seen done this. Do You Know did a very funny take on it, I thought.
Number 4, let's go with Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. I know what you're thinking. It's a volleyball game and, you know, sports. Oh, come on. But it's not about that. What it's about are the physics. And there are few games that really dial in those physics to a pristine example of what we can get out of gaming nowadays. Am I right?
She don't know.
There's also Retro Rivals.
Feeling like even this top 10, I'm probably missing something. And that, it's eating at my soul.
I was down here for like an hour looking around.
At my soul.
And Sega Head.
My life wasn't shit enough, so they would tag me to do a thing. Nah, seriously, it's all good. It's nice when the YouTube community gets together in this weird way. And, I get to be a part of stuff rather than forgotten about and rotting in a corner.
Who have done these. So it's been going around the YouTube community for quite some time. So first, let's get the evil deeds out of the way. The 5 people that we are going to tag that are going to have to do this video. If you choose to or not, it's completely up to you. Do your own spin on it, maybe like Do You Nerd. But we're going to start with the ex-Sega Hotline employee. The one, the only, the Since Spaceys.
Why should you follow my YouTube channel? Well, I used to be in the video game industry. I used to work for companies such as Megazone Magazine, Hyper Magazine, The Gamesman, which is the world's longest running video game store, and the big one, Sega! Wow. Yes, I used to work for those guys too at Sega.
Secondly, we have the Loopy, the one, the only, the top loader.
Hey, don't skip. Don't skip. Don't skip. Don't skip. Just give me one shot. One shot. Well, you got your shot. See what happens when you skip? You miss out on all the good stuff. Don't you hate it when they put the best parts in the trailer? This is a retro channel, so I'm going full on retro.
The top loader, this guy makes crazy videos.
Todd's channel, he's got a very unique way of presenting his content. I highly recommend you go and check him out.
Honestly, I don't see people with such like organic imagination when they do their videos, so I can't wait to see what he does.
He's great.
Who else we got? Uncle Chunt, who is he does movie reviews and podcasts, and he's just got a whole new capture setup that he purchased, so hopefully he'll do a video on his top 10 as well. So how many is that? That's 3?
Yes.
I can't forget the Den Den Boys, who just recently did half the Den Den Boys, where it's the Den Boy or the Den Boy, I don't know, but he did a games room tour of his latest games rooms. You should also check that out. So he's going to do a top 10. You have to do it, man. I'll come around your house. I know where you live, kind of. And lastly, we've got... I'm blanking. I remembered 4 out of the 5. I'm impressed that I remembered that many. Lastly, we have 8-Bit Boy UK. So we're sending it across the pond to UK. So guys, can't wait to see your top 10. Without further ado, let's get into ours. And if you could please click that like button, it helps us out a lot. You can click that like. If you decide by the end of the video you don't like it, you can unlike. But click like now and let's get into our top 10. By clicking that like, you help us reach a wider audience, so we really do appreciate it. Who's going to start?
Fine, I'll do it. You were just looking at me, you were like, do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep. All right.
Alright.
So I know what a top 5 are, but I don't know what order they're in. So Go.
So I had to think long and hard on my ones. I actually put a dibs on one of the games that we both love, so he couldn't choose it.
That's fine. That's fine. I've got a pretty good stack right here.
Yeah.
So what's your first choice?
So my number 5 is The Last of Us. So it was one of the games that got me back into gaming.
Because you are really only being like a contemporary gamer.
Yeah.
You're well lapsed. So there's going to be like a big difference between the games that I love and the games that you love. Just seeing by the stacks and when those games were put out. Yep. So you're a contemporary gamer. So
I am definitely a contemporary gamer.
Yep.
I will most likely only play common games. Ugh. Not common games. New games.
Yeah. So you're modern gamer.
Modern games. That's that's the word I was looking for, but my brain decided to not select that.
Yeah. So what is it about you that you love?
So I like that it was a survival. Is it a survival?
It is a survival game. You could class it as a survival horror or survival action adventure game because the horror elements are obviously the infected in this game with the clickers and the runners. I forgot what they called.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
what
I can't even
called.
remember. I just remember the clickers, but
yeah, I like the game because I can be stealthy.
I hate stealth. I hate it.
I sneak around a lot in any game that I play where I can be stealthy.
I just like to blow
And
shit
then
up.
If I somehow blow my stealth, then I run away screaming, pretty much.
Yeah. I think as well, this is like one of those games, like normally, like when I'm watching cutscenes, I'm like either clicking to get through it, or when is it gonna end, I'm like just waiting, like come on. But with The Last of Us, the cutscenes are just so emotional that you actually just like put down your controller and just get engrossed. Like for those of you that play it, you know that first scene with Sarah and Joel, that emotional yeah, man, that resonated so hard with me, and it just really set the tone for like the story behind this game. So I think that was a very good choice. All right, I'll go. So we'll do 1 and 1, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, my first one. We're going way back to 1989. So technically, I was 3 when this game came out. I was
1.
Yeah, I wasn't 3 when I played it, but like when the Mega Drive came out, I was still playing the Master System. I was like a generation behind for quite some years into the new console's life cycle. And Time Soldiers is one of those ones that I didn't own, but I would rent week in, week out. It's basically a top-down isometric like shooter where you're traveling through time. I forgot why. I can't remember why, but anyway, but then you're working your way to the future to basically wipe out who's the overlord, and it's just so fun playing through the different eras, like the dinosaurs, you play through Rome, you play through modern, and then futuristic, and it's 2-player as well, so me and my brother used to love playing this and renting it, so this is definitely my number 5 pick. It's a common game too, so you should be able to find this for fairly cheap if you want to give it a go.
I have Days Gone.
Another banger.
Another banger. So we got more zombies.
Yeah.
I think zombies is my thing.
No, there's only 2, yeah.
Okay, only 2. So obviously I liked it so much that I have 2 copies of it.
No, well, you've actually technically got like 3 or 4 copies of it because you also have the collector's edition.
This is the collector's edition.
Okay, but you bought the EB version.
No, I only have the JB version.
Okay, alright, okay. So you do have only 2
have
versions of it, okay.
I loved the fact that it was open world. I could just roam around on a freaking motorbike and kill zombies and die a lot.
And like you have a crush on Deacon St. John, or the actor who plays Deacon St. John, so that helps. Like you're like the eye candy factor. Like it's funny because most of the games you pick I rate really, really highly, but I skew to more towards the retro. I also love Days Gone, the story and some of the emotional beats, and the relationship between you and who gets his arm cut off.
Bone? Is that?
I've forgotten. I'm gonna put his name right here.
It starts with a B, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you're right too. And like the zombie encounters in that, I don't think any game has done zombie encounters so well with like the freakers in this, just the large horde mentality and clearing them out. Glitches aside, it was fantastic.
Oh my god, you had such an amazing glitch with your first horde.
I don't think I captured that, unfortunately. I would love to show you that.
He was literally, he caught the horde's attention, started running, and then they all disappeared.
Yeah, they fell through the ground, so they pretty much fell through the map.
So he cleared the horde in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, they all just like literally, I just saw them slowly falling through the floor, and then they were gone. And
I was so mad at you.
Yeah, because you kept dying on that one.
It took me like 3 hours to do that horde.
Yeah, so Days Gone, another PlayStation exclusive, so we're going very PlayStation heavy so far with you. Next, this is okay. I didn't actually put mine in order because I knew I was going to do this. I knew I was going to change them around as I went. Okay. Another Sega game, Beavis and Butthead. Now, yes, there is a Super Nintendo Beavis and Butthead, but they're two different games. They're completely different.
Yeah.
This was another one that I did not own as a kid because my parents wouldn't buy it for me. But I was obsessed with Beavis and Butthead when I was younger. And my mum would let me rent this out. And basically, it's the premise is so you get noir tickets, GNAW tickets, and a dog eats them, rows it up, and then his neighbor, I forget, is it Anderson or whatever, runs him over with a lawnmower, and the tickets go flying around the world. No idea how they get so far, but you have to go and find the different tickets, put them back together so you can make it to the concert. And
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. And there's like, you have to find items to unlock things. It's kind of like a point and click adventure without the pointing and clicking. Like one of the things is you need to, your job, you work at Burger World, you put some chips in the deep fryer with a dead rotting rat, and then feed it to a customer.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, and the customer eats it and throws up. And that's where one of the tickets was, inside a person.
Oh.
Okay. So really weird and wacky game, but in Beavis and Butthead version. But it's not a good game, but it's one of those games that I'm nostalgic for and I love playing. Everyone has that bad good game. This is mine. So yeah, I really recommend just trying it for the shits and gigs of it.
So my number 3, which is probably a lot of other people's number 1.
Is it this one right here?
Yeah.
What is that for those that don't know?
We have God of War. You can't really see it. God of War. So, God of War, it was the first console I bought for myself.
On my birthday.
I picked it up on his birthday, but he was the first person to play.
Yeah,
so
but you bought something for you on my birthday.
Hey,
you spent $700 on $600 on yourself on your birthday, and I think I got like $80 worth of things.
It wasn't my fault that it came out on his birthday. It was a game I really wanted to play, but I didn't actually play it until this year.
Yeah, so like in the last couple of months you played this, whereas I did play it straight away, and honestly, like...
Actually, I did play about 20 minutes and then...
Yeah, you dropped off because I took over, and I just kept playing and playing and playing and playing.
And then I just started playing other games. But I love the Norse mythology, and
it's your heritage.
It is my heritage.
You're Swedish, so
I just had to have it and play it, and I love the relationship between Kratos and Atreus.
Yeah. It evolves so well, their relationship, from him being very stoic and standoffish with Atreus, and being almost condescending towards him in like being like, why don't you know these things? To him actually like fostering a lot of love and empathy towards Atreus and what they were going through. So yeah, I completely agree. It's a fantastic game. You haven't finised it yet. I want you to finish it yet because I want to fucking talk about the ending. So fucking finish it.
Okay.
I need to talk, and I'm surprised. So she's seen the trailer for the new one, Ragnarok, but she didn't pick up on the spoiler that they had in it
Hey,
about
I'm
the ending
just
of
that
the game.
amazing.
Yeah, so like finish the game so we can talk about it because it's important.
But I also want to 100% it. Can I do that after?
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I'll do that.
It
then.
reverts back to the previous save before you
Okay,
go to
fine.
the ending. Okay.
Fine, I'll do that.
Psychonauts. But man, this game... So Psychonauts is by Double Fine, and obviously Psychonauts 2 just came out recently. I played it on Xbox Game Pass. Number 2 is fantastic, but for me it all started here. This is like the first Xbox game where I finished it about 5 or 6 times over and over again. Halo I finished twice to finish it on Legendary, but just as a story, the characters, the world that Double Fine created, it was just very intelligent, it's very quirky, and it's just a whole lot of fun. The platforming at times can be very frustrating, but honestly I think this game is just absolutely fantastic and everybody should give it a go. It's on Xbox Game Pass right now, and if you have the original copy it's also backwards compatible, so you can stick your disc in to your Series X or S or Xbox One and play this game. And I highly recommend you check out Psychonauts 2. There's a lot of like mental health issues that Psychonauts touch on that are not inaccessible to talk about, where what Psychonaut introduces those mental health or addictions like alcoholism in an accessible way that allows you to talk to your children or people about it. And like I suffer from like anxiety, so there's a lot of themes in this that I relate to, and how they portray them is, I find, very relatable. So Psychonauts 1/2, if that's not cheating.
Alright, so this is the game that I picked. I shotgunned.
Yeah.
I dibsed on Zelda Breath of the Wild. So, while I've always been a Zelda fan, I never really owned a gaming console in the Nintendo franchise. So I couldn't really play many of the games.
You played Twilight Princess from like, because you saw like, oh, I remember this area, like the snow area and everything like that.
Like I partially played Twilight Princess.
Did you say Toilet Princess?
No.
Okay, Twilight Princess.
Twilight.
Yeah. Okay, Twilight
I'm sorry,
Princess.
my accent is going bad.
It's fine.
But Zelda Breath of the Wild, so it came out with the Switch, and obviously Craig got the Switch off the rocks.
Yeah, I got it like day one, and we lived like.
So we lived in Thredbo at the time. So
for reference, that's a national park. It's Australia's highest mountain, and it's pretty much in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
That's Kosciuszko National Park, for those who do not know where that is. And it's located in the Snowy Mountains, about 6 hours from Sydney. Yeah.
So, like, we had, like, little to no internet. Like, we downloaded less than a megabyte a second.
Yeah.
So for us to have, like, PlayStation 4 or Xbox Ones playing those games, if there was a day one update, we literally couldn't play the game. But with the Switch, it just, because we could take it to Canberra if we needed to, if it did have a big update, we could do that. We could take it with us, and it just being able to be played handheld or as a home console, and like you got lost in that game.
So yeah, the reason I fell into Zelda, literally, I didn't have a job at the time. I was working casually as a cleaner to help out some of the people around in the village, but I didn't have a job. So I spent day in, day out playing Zelda.
Honestly, like, I would leave to work in the morning and I would work 12-hour days, and I would come home and should still be playing it. It was insane. And like, but I'm glad, because like it got her back into gaming, and the whole reason that she has a top 5 honestly started with this. So
thank you, Nintendo.
And thank you, Legend of Zelda. And it's funny because I got a note about this and the next one. That is your top, but we'll put that aside for now. And when you bring out your next one, I will say what it is. I toss and turn between these two, but this one decided to be my number 2. here we have The Legend of Zelda, The Majora's Mask. Now, I had a Nintendo 64 because I literally could not get a Saturn where I lived. It was impossible.
This is your original copy, isn't it?
This is my original copy from my childhood. I have all my boxed Nintendo 64 games, GameCube games from when I was a kid. The ones before that got stolen, unfortunately, but the Nintendo 64 was stored somewhere else, so luckily they weren't. But this was one of those games. Like, I loved Ocarina of Time, but what I really loved about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is there was a sense of urgency because you're totally fighting the clock. You had 3 days in which the world would end. So if you were to rewind time and go back to day one, everything you did in your previous run would reset. And if you didn't complete certain tasks, you would have to do them again. But it was also one of those games, like, basically video games, when you're not in a room, basically everything outside of what you're seeing, the characters are just standing there waiting for you to interact. They do not do things, NPCs, without you being present. But with this, because everything was scheduled to a time, the NPCs, like, they would go on with their daily duties, and I could be like in a different place, and I'd be like, oh, it's this time of the day. The postman is delivering his parcel right now, or the world's about to end. The postman is like kicking his feet on the bed in fear right now. Like, everybody is doing things even when you're not in the room. So it's the first game where the world actually felt really alive to me, and I just loved that they were able to do that because it was very, very hard to basically get that correlation, that congruency, I guess, between people's actions when you're not there, and they just created a fantastic world. And this came out a year after the Ocarina of Time, so they didn't have long to develop this too, which is obvious because they used the same assets. But this is definitely, and probably will be, my number 2 for quite some time. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which is soon coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service. So
I think I might actually try playing that on the Nintendo Switch.
Awesome. All right, then that gives us a reason to buy the expansion pack, because I've been like so hesitant to buy it because I don't want to support the practices of Nintendo right now. But if it means that you will play that, then I'm happy to do that.
All right. So my number 1 is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Fantastic.
I think one of the reasons is because it's a female protagonist.
Yep.
Female hero.
Protagonist is the right word.
Yeah.
Antagonist is the villain. Protagonist is the hero.
Pro being 4. Yeah.
Yep.
The fact that you get to play Aloy as a little child first, and then you develop your skills and you fight all of these machines with a bow and your staff, and I can sneak.
Yeah.
I can be a freaking sneak.
It's one of
We
those.
played so differently.
Exactly, and that's what I loved about it too. And like, this is one of my favorite games. It just doesn't make my top 10 because my top 10 is like pretty much all retro games. But yeah, like, we play so differently, and you can attack things in such a different manner, like enemies and that. Like, I just go in there all guns blazing, like, because I'm a good shot.
And I would stalk them and see what their patterns are, and then go at them in that kind of manner.
Yeah, whereas I just like start shooting parts off and everything like that. And the world is like very beautiful, and it's a very interesting take on a future post-apocalyptic world. So yeah, I can't wait for, and I know you can't, for Forbidden West, which comes out soon. So when do you think this came out?
I don't actually know.
This came out the exact same time as this.
Oh.
Alright, my number 1, it was only ever gonna be... Okay, technically this is one game, okay? Technically this is one game. They developed this game and this was a part of it, but they didn't get it finished in time, so they decided to separate the elements of this and release it as a separate game. But you can put this game in this game and play them together. So technically it's one game. I will stand by that.
I think you're cheating a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, I play this religiously. Like this, I can play it over and over and over again. It had a huge impact on me as a kid. Sonic 3, I honestly have the most fun memories, and I played it over and over again. It had a save battery. I beat it where I got like all the Chaos Emeralds in both Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles to become Hyper Sonic and Hyper Knuckles. Yeah, the gameplay's fun and the music, oh my god, the music. And it sucks that this game can't get re-released because the music and the score is basically held in part by Michael Jackson's estate and one other person. But one of the songs on there for Ice Cap Zone #1, when I'd get to that stage, I would die as soon as I would get to the bottom intentionally so I could replay that loop. Jump on the snowboard and listen to that music over and over again. Like, it's just a seminal part of my childhood was Sonic the Hedgehog, and this game, well, these two games technically, were just the ones that just stay with me, and I have memories and of everything, and like, oh, I get teary when I'm thinking about it. And like, I even had the standee for this game, which my mum got me, and she yelled at a store owner because he put my name on that, and it took him 6 months to give it to me until my mum went in there and yelled at him because he'd promised it to me a number of times over that time. So yeah, honestly, Sonic 3, if you haven't played it, do yourself a favor, please do. You can play it on some of the compilations for the PlayStation 3 and the original Xbox and the PC, but I would not expect to see this game ever again on any other Sega compilations. So, I'm gonna quickly cheat and do my other top 5 in no particular order. Halo Combat Evolved, Streets of Rage 2, Banjo-Tooie, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, not Alex the Kid, and The Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We would love to know in the comments, what is your top 5, top 10, or favorite game of all time and why? Part of why we do YouTube is to connect with the community and find out and about you guys as much as you finding out about us. So if you guys are willing to, write in the comments what your favorite game is, or do your own video and you can tag us. Retrospectively, it's fine. Even if we didn't tag you, you can do one of these videos and feel free to tag us so that we can see it, and we can basically, we want to see your content as much as we enjoy you viewing ours. We want to be involved in your guys' lives.
100%.
So until next time, guys, happy gaming.
Bye.